Chapter 1, The Whisper Beneath the Ashes. In the lightless vaults beneath the ashen ruin of Eryndor, time clung to the bones of dead kings like dust. Here, where history rotted in silence, the Ruby Dagger pulsed, its heartbeat slow, but relentless. Then, with a sound like a blade exhaling, Orianna Eryndor opened her eyes. The sarcophagus cracked. Out poured whispers of sealed oaths, exiled curses, and phantom lullabies sung by blood-soaked nurses. Orianna rose, alabaster skin untouched by time, hair a curtain of night, her eyes gleaming ruby-red with cruel precision. She stepped barefoot onto the cracked tiles, and the stones wept. Above, the world groaned under the weight of chaos. Metropolis X stirred, fragmented, fractured, and ripe. Vaer'Kharn returned from the Crimson Dunes, claws caked in marrow, dragging news wrapped in sinew, syndicates at war, gods in hiding, kings without thrones. Orianna listened. And smiled. Chapter 2, The Market of Hollow Names. Orianna entered the southern edges of Metropolis X cloaked in soot-gray linen, the dagger veiled beneath folds of memory. The city reeked of desperation, smoke, rot, prayers that never rose. Merchants barked names that meant nothing, selling relics of forgotten empires, illusions of safety. She wandered through tents of rotted canvas and alleys where hope begged for coin. A child, feverish and alone, reached up to her. "Are you a god?" She knelt. The dagger met his hand, cool and humming. "No," she said, "I am the proof they were never needed." That night, a fire bloomed from the bones of the market. When dawn came, all that remained was a single ruby, embedded in the scorched stone. None claimed it. All feared it. Chapter 3, The Pact Carved in Bone. Beneath the amphitheater, in a chamber once used to house lions and martyrs, Orianna met Corvin Voss. He arrived cloaked in scentless oils and bodyguards without tongues. She arrived alone, save for Vaer'Kharn, who lounged beside the altar of dust and blood. "I offer legacy," she said, unwrapping a scroll of flesh inked in living veins. "Scarlet roads to power. A network that bleeds profit." Corvin narrowed his eyes. "And your price?" Vaer'Kharn stood. One of Corvin's men twitched. Then screamed. The beast had removed his hand with surgical ease. Orianna traced the scream like music in the air. Obedience. And silence. Corvin signed with a drop of his own blood. The pact flared red. Thus, the Scarlet Network was born. And Metropolis X began to bleed on schedule. Chapter 4, The Throne of Shattered Glass. In the husk of a ruined cathedral, where sun no longer reached and saints had long since shattered, Orianna laid her claim. The stained glass, once golden and merciful, now lay in razor shards at her feet. She walked barefoot through the ruins, each step a hymn of sovereignty. The air was thick with memory and ash, and every breath carried the scent of incense and ruin. She summoned cursed masons, sightless, tongueless, who carved the sanctuary into her shape. Obsidian windows replaced mercy with dominion, each pane etched with runes that whispered obedience into the bones of the city. Her throne, chiseled from a slab of ruby older than any kingdom, pulsed with the imprisoned sighs of her enemies. Above it, a chandelier of crystallized blood hung suspended by veils of dream silk, swaying gently as if breathing. They came, first in whispers, then in lines, merchants, spies, outlaws, monks. Petitioners who sought power and feared cost. Some brought gold, others secrets. None left untouched. All left loyal. Or broken. Orianna did not rule by consent. She ruled by design. And design, in her hands, was prophecy made architecture. Chapter 5, The Festival of the Forgotten. Orianna proclaimed Moonfire restored. Metropolis X answered with caution, then frenzy. A masquerade to remember the old world, and forget the price. Invitations were whispered rather than sent, scribed in scarlet ink on flesh parchment, appearing on pillows and in dreams. Beneath lanterns of crimson wax and perfume-laced fog, revelers danced through spores that coiled around memory and identity. Musicians played instruments tuned with the breath of sleeping gods, and shadows moved with too many limbs. Blood wine flowed, and masks whispered secrets into their wearers' ears, secrets only Orianna could have known. At midnight, a mute orphan crowned Orianna with a thorn halo pulled from their own scalp. The crowd knelt. No one remembered why. But they did not question it. Not even those who bled. Not even those who wept. They had remembered her. And forgetting her again became unthinkable. Chapter 6, The Bloodletter's Requiem. They plotted, of course. Elders with secrets. Nobles with debt. Clerics with fading symbols. Conspirators whose ancestors once carved empires from starfire. They vanished. Some with a whisper. Others with screams that turned alleyways to tombs. Those who resisted became cautionary stories etched into alley walls, tattooed in blood by the Ruby Court. Her court grew, figures veiled in silence and sapphire flame, mouths sewn shut as vows of eternal discretion. They walked the streets barefoot, leaving trails of heatless embers that shaped glyphs in the dust. Vaer'Kharn guarded the city gate, now carved into Orianna's face, fawn-lined, glorious, and merciless. No child dared deface it. No adult dared look at it twice. Her name was etched into law, into folklore, into lullabies. Not as ruler. As origin. And Orianna smiled. Not for power. Not for worship. For silence restored. The silence that always comes before the scream. Epilogue, The Ember Crown. When the stars realigned and Caliph rose with twin-colored eyes, all spoke of dragons and phoenixes. Of Ilyr's final flame. Of the throne that split heaven. But deep beneath the city, in vaults of whispered stone, the Ruby Dagger still pulsed. Not in memory. Not in mourning. In anticipation.